Hi, this is Dr. Janice Franowski, and this is this week's A Dose from Dr. Janice. I'm cheating a little bit because I'm recording this on Saturday, the second day of my two-day trek down here to Beaumont. I'm about Beaumont, Texas. I'm about 3 or 4 hours out. Absolutely gorgeous blue sky day to travel on, and it went really well. Spending the night with two pets. Got a dog and a cat. I don't know if you can see my cat, but it's been very funny. So while I was driving, this is what came to me. I wanted to summarize what I've been going through for the last several months with this move, and probably for the last 1 or 2 years of my life. And what came to me was to give up, to give over, and to give in. Give up, give over, and give in. So the first thing that I really learned, in particular in the last 3 months, is to give up. And that would be give up possessions. As soon as we knew that we were moving to Texas about 3 months ago, when my husband got the offer, we began the purging process. And it began in our attics, and then it moved out to our shed, and then moved into our closets, and then into our kitchen and our dining room. And bottom line, every single drawer in our home was emptied and purged. And it was an amazingly cathartic experience. You know, we accumulate so much stuff, and I'm not a collector of stuff. I've been pretty good at living by the 1-year rule, that if it hasn't been used in a year, then I get rid of it. But even with that said, there was still so much to get rid of. And yesterday, when they were loading up all my stuff, my furniture, we probably had between 100 and 150 boxes of stuff. And so when I get to Texas, there's a part of me that doesn't want to open like half the boxes. So I'm gonna have to figure that out. But there's something very, very freeing. We accumulate too much stuff. Stuff costs money, stuff has to be taken care of. And not that God doesn't want us to have nice stuff, but we just have too much of it. So I had to give some of that up. The next thing I had to do was to give over. And primarily what I mean is give over to a higher power. And when I talk about give over, I'm specifically referring to my sons and this mothering thing. You know, we spent 18 years raising our young. Gosh, that's a long time. I have been blessed with 2 unbelievable sons. I mean, complete and absolute gifts from God. Steve and I are so blessed with Stephen and Hunter. But, you know, they're out of the nest now, and I'm okay with it, which is shocking, because when Stephen left, I cried for probably 6 months. When Hunter left, I cried for probably an hour. And then this past Tuesday when I left, I cried for about a mile. And so, you know, I'm ready for them to fly. And I know that going forward, it's quality time with my sons, not so much quantity. And I'm okay with that. Steve and I have done the best job we possibly could at the time, and I know we probably may have made different decisions. Hindsight's 20/20, but we did the best possible job raising our sons, and now we're letting them fly, and I think that's a beautiful thing. When I was young, my brothers and I knew that once we turned 18, that we would either be in the military, we would have a full-time job and not be living at home, or we would be in college, at which point when we graduate, we would be out of the home. My dad made that abundantly clear to us, and I have to tell you that it served us, because all 3 of us were productive and independent really, really soon after high school. So I give over to God, to a higher power, to universal intelligence, my sons. I've done the best that I can. I know that they'll make mistakes, but my job is not to raise these perfect children. My job is to raise productive members of society that will make wise choices, not all the time, but I am going to give over to God, and I am definitely going to give up worrying about them, because Lord knows that doesn't do anything. So I had to give that over. And lastly, and most importantly, I had to give in. And my giving in process has occurred over the last probably 18 months. And I had to give in to what lives inside of me. You know, we all have a calling, we all have a purpose, and I would say very few percentage of us actually live up to that potential. I don't know exactly what my calling is right now. I just know that there's more to life than I've lived these 49 years. And I decided that I was going to find out what that next chapter, really it's like a next book in my life, not just a next chapter. And you know, recently I've talked to several people that have said to me in one way or another, just flat out said to me, I'm so jealous, I'm so jealous. There's nothing to be jealous of. You know, you are the captain of your ship. And yeah, you might feel stuck right now in parts of your life, but it's just a choice to get unstuck. You know, it's just a choice to fly the way you're supposed to fly. And life isn't about living up to someone else's expectation of you. Life is about fulfilling what's inside of you. And only through quiet time, and a lot of quiet time, have I realized that I still have a lot more to do. I love being a chiropractor, I love being a mother and a wife, but there's something inside of me that still needs to come out. And aren't I blessed to be able to have the opportunity to let that out? So my third point is that you need to go in, and I needed to get in to find out what's on the inside of me and to allow that to come out. And I'm really going to be exploring that over the next few months. I basically say that I'm going to allow, and I've been practicing that a lot lately. The art of allowing means that I allow what comes into me, and I try not to control it so much, and I also try not to judge it. You know, a few weeks ago I gave the example of having to replace our septic system. We just allowed that to happen. I mean, obviously it's just a small example, but my point is rather than judge it as something bad, it wasn't bad for the engineer that we had to pay $2,000 to, and it wasn't bad for the excavating company that had to dig it out and put it in and made thousands of dollars. It wasn't bad for them. So the same situation for one person could be called good or bad. So instead, I'm just going to practice allowing what comes into my life and really practice not judging it. So that's what I wanted to share with you in this week's A Dose from Dr. Denise. I'm recording it a day early because I wanted to record it while I was underway on my trip. And I want you to really think about giving up all our accumulations and our possessions. God, is it freeing, getting rid of some of those. I want you to give over to the higher power, all the things that you worry about. You know, certainly our children come to mind for those that are parents, but give that over. And then I want you to give in, and by that I mean go in. And if you feel that there's still something that you need to get done with your life, then get on getting on, because life's short, man. A couple weeks ago, a lady got on a Southwest airline flight and she did not land, and well, her body landed, but her spirit rose. And we really don't know what the next day brings. So life's way too short to let that stay stuck inside of you. I want to finish with my most favorite passage out of my most favorite book. My most favorite book is of course the Bible. My second most favorite book is from Marianne Williamson, A Return to Love, and there's a passage in there that is often attributed to Nelson Mandela, but it's actually Marianne Williamson, and she's paraphrasing A Course in Miracles. And she says this, and I'm going to say it to you at the same time that I say it to myself. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It's our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Who are you not to be? You're a child of God. Your playing small doesn't serve this world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking, so others won't feel insecure around you. We were all born to manifest the glory of God that is in each one of us. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give others permission to do the same. As we liberate our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. So I'm a few hours out from Texas, and next week I'll tell you all about the move. But God bless and peace out.